Hey there, it's Amanda with Words in a Nutshell, and today we're heading to ancient Greece for some fun with etymology. Are you ready? Today we're starting with the word theogony, and we're going to create 24 new words like magic. Our word is introduced through the ancient Greek poet Hesiod. Born around the 8th to the 7th centuries BC in ancient Greece, his 1,000-line poem Theogony discusses the origin of nature through the personification of gods and goddesses. Just a little side note, personification is the act of representing a concept by giving it human qualities or human characteristics. For instance, if we say, my alarm clock screamed at me to wake up, or the sun smiled down at me, or my phone died a slow, agonizing death. These are all examples of personification. In Hesiod's case, he represented natural phenomena as human-like figures, gods or goddesses, persons, personification. Now let's get back to the word theogony. If we break it into its roots, we have theo, which means God, and Johnny or gonia, which means the beginning or the creation of. Literally, the beginning or the creation of the gods. Let's start with the root theo, or God, beginning with the word theology. Theology comes from theo, or God, plus logos, the word or reason. Theology is the study of God and religion, and a theologian is the person who does the studying of the nature of God and religion. Another word is theocracy, which comes from the roots theo, or God, plus kratio, or krasi, which means to have the power or to rule. A theocracy is a system of government that is led by a religious leader or run according to religious laws. An example would be ancient Egypt, when the pharaoh was considered a living god. Also in Tibet, it used to be a Buddhist theocracy that was ruled by the Dalai Lama. Also, one of the first American colonies, Plymouth Colony, used to be a theocracy because it was ruled by religious men according to Puritan laws. In today's world, we have the Vatican, which is ruled over by the Pope. And in Iran, it's also a theocracy because the head of the state is the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is a Shia religious leader, and laws are based on Islamic or Sharia law. Same thing in Afghanistan, where the Taliban ruled by Islamic law or Sharia. There are a number of other words that also come from the root krateo or krasi. For instance, the word democracy. Democracy, it comes from the root for demos, or people. Democracy is ruled by the people. In ancient Greece, this was direct. The people directly voted for laws. Today, people's wills are represented through representatives. Another word is autocracy. Autocracy is self-rule or rule by one person. This comes from the root auto, or self, and we have a lot of roots that also use that root, auto. For instance, an autobiography is a book written about oneself. An autodidact, I love this word, just means self-taught. Automatic, anything that's automatic runs by itself. An automobile, for instance, was something that drove automatically, as opposed to horse-drawn carriage. Autograph is a signature by a celebrity himself or herself. We also have the word bureaucracy, which comes from the word bureau, meaning desk or office. And this defines a system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than elected representatives. Essentially, it's ruled by government agencies. Yet another word is aristocracy. Aristocracy comes from the root aristos, which is the Greek root for best, so literally ruled by the best. But in fact, It was actually rule by the highest classes of people. It's a form of government in which power is held by the privileged classes, typically the nobility, who gain status through hereditary privilege or wealth or a social position. A more modern version of an aristocracy, I suppose, would be a plutocracy. Plutocracy is the rule by wealthy people, and the root of that comes from the Greek god of wealth, Plutos. And from that, we have a lot of fun words that I'm sure you haven't heard, but plutomania is the obsession with wealth. Plutolatry is the worship of money. Plutonomics is the study of wealth management, and a fun word is plutophobia. This is the fear of wealth, all from the Greek god Plutos. Also related to money, we have the word kleptocracy. A kleptocracy from the Greek root klepto, to steal. And this is a society that is ruled by people who use their power to steal the country's resources. From that root, we also have a kleptomaniac, who is a person who impulsively steals. On the other end of things, we have a meritocracy, which is a government ruled by people who are selected for their abilities, that is, their skill or their education. In ancient China, for instance, people who worked for the government had to pass these very difficult imperial exams to rise to government positions. But wait, we still have a few more words with the root theo, or God. For instance, a theist. A theist is a person who believes in the existence of a god or gods. Monotheism is the belief in one God, mono, one, plus theism, God. Jews, Christians, and Muslims would fall under that category. An atheist comes from the root a, which is the negation plus theist, gods, and an atheist is a person who does not believe in a god. On the other end of that is a pantheist. A pantheist accepts all gods, from the root pan, or all, plus theo, God. Which brings us back to Hesiod. In his poem in Theogony, he gave us a tutorial on the pantheon of Greek gods. That is, all gods. And this is going to be the topic of my next video. And until then, have a great day.